Okay, I'll share my screen. There's not as much for this one as previous because there were less questions and then it was pretty, there was a lot of similarities in the answers. So let me see. How do I present on Google? Oh, wait. Okay, can you see it?
Yep, that looks good.
Okay, so overview. And I just took the template from our other presentation. So we had about 23% of respondents did not make a purchase because they didn't see anything they wanted. So it was just something that they made an account and then they didn't see anything that they wanted to purchase. 17% did make a purchase because they had trouble with the local line process. And I'll get to some of those specific comments. But a majority of the respondents didn't make a purchase because of things like they were sick or they forgot about it, or a lot of it was stuff that we can't control. So, so I'm gonna focus more on the, I focus more on the comments of the things that we could fix, like maybe some transparency for local line and stuff like that. So it was sent out to 926 customers. We got 102 responses, which is still quite a few responses. A few of those were people that had purchased, so we did have that little mix up.
Yeah.
So, but it wasn't a large sum of the responses, so we still got some good data from it.
Yeah, I'd say 11% is pretty good for people who were not involved in the ordering.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So we asked what market did they usually shop at. So we had, 4% say that they don't shop in person at any markets. They were just, wanted to do the online portion. But then, as usual, we had a majority from Rochester because it's a pretty large market. And then we didn't have any from, let's see, what are the ones that aren't on here? There were 2 that didn't have any respondents. And I can't think of them off the top of my head. They're the ones that are not on this list in here. But otherwise, it was pretty. Grand Rapids, Richfield, Wabasha had about 14%. And then Aiken, Cook, Red Wing were below 4%, which makes sense for the populations. The other, I didn't go into detail what the other ones were just because it was like Bloomington or just markets that aren't participating in the hub program. So I'm not sure that that's super useful, but it is in the speaker notes if you want to go back and look at what other markets they shopped at.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Susan Draves emailed me and she said, and I'm pretty sure she's the market manager for Red Wing.
Okay.
Right?
Oh, she's for Lake City.
Oh, okay. So she emailed me and she said we did not do it.
Yeah, so Susan Draves is an extension educator down there in Wabasha County, or the one right next door. And she manages the Lake City market, and they started out in the project, but just couldn't pull things together. So what the situation now is that Lake City is merged with Wabasha, and Sarah George is taking care of both of them for the online sales. So Susan manages the in-person Lake City market, and any Lake City vendors who want to do online sales are in with the Wabasha market.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So that's
And
why we
Sarah
had
made-
parentheses that said like Lake City, Pepin or something.
Yeah. So Sarah Sarah George manages both the Wabasha and the Red Wing markets. And then if there are farmers from Pepin, Wisconsin, that's actually where Sarah lives. And so some of them are in on the Wabasha market platform as well.
Cool.
Okay.
That's how that goes. And then the other one might have been Chisago City, which was in the project for a couple years. And then Cecilia Coulter, who was the manager, left that position and kind of dropped out of the project, and they haven't been active since 2019.
Okay. Yeah, I did notice that there were the parentheses after the Wabasha. I just assumed that was all encompassing market there. Okay. So for where the customers heard about it, there were quite a few that were just like, I don't even remember signing up. I don't know, you know, which fair, yeah. 35% was social media. There wasn't any radio or POP, the power of produce, I believe. Those were two options on the survey that there weren't any people that heard from those, but otherwise it was friends and family. The market email was another one with 29%. So social media and the market email were the two highest ones that people heard about. And then other, we had, let me see if I wrote down. Others include searched online at the market when they were shopping at the market in person, a food shelf, and the market website. So there's other markets going on. Okay, so why they didn't make a purchase. So for platform issues, a majority of it was hard to navigate, and that was the big thing. The rest of them were, you know, the vendors I was interested in were in the catalog. And it's not, you know, we don't know who they're interested in, so that's something that we can't necessarily fix. But I was curious about everything I ordered was canceled after I ordered it, never bothered again. That one was interesting. I don't know if the website canceled the order.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. I know a few times in Grand Rapids, we had to cancel orders because vendors accidentally had product listed that they didn't actually have. Like they sold out of it and forgot to zero out the inventory. So I know that happened a few times, and yeah, I guess I don't know, you know, where that person was from. It happened at other markets too.
Let me look on one of the spreadsheets. It would say where they were from. I can write because one of them has the respondents.
Yeah,
I believe that
and after the one after seeing so many soaps, etc., I'm virtually sure that one is Grand Rapids, because I know that we had just a huge amount of soap on the catalog, and I do also know that Local Line wasn't easy to use on a phone. It's not mobile friendly.
Okay. Yeah, but otherwise, you know, hard to navigate, and then mobile friendly is website stuff. Yeah. So the biggest thing that not almost everyone, there was quite a few that were wanting to see what they're purchasing. They offer, it'd be helpful if every vendor had pictures taken, which I guess is hard because they post what they have before, like prior to it being harvested, or is that, I don't know, a lot of customers were talking about how they like to see what they're buying, and so they.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, usually the vendors would put up a photo that might have been a stock photo from something like Unsplash, which is a free online photo library,
Mhm.
or we had a photo library of photos from farmers markets too. And I mean, we encouraged farmers to put up their own pictures, but it would be a general picture. It wouldn't be the picture of the actual, if it was cucumbers, it would just be a picture of cucumbers, not the cucumbers that you would be getting. So,
Yeah. So that again is probably just the customers wanting to, being used to going to the farmers market and seeing what they're purchasing and stuff. Um,
yeah.
yeah. And then there were a few comments on price being significantly higher than purchasing at the market. And I'm assuming that's due to the extra costs for the vendor, right? Or is there a
Well, there was a markup. So
Mhm.
the market itself was putting a markup of anywhere from 12.5 to 15%. Actually, I think Rochester's was 16%. So adding that on to the price, the vendors would put in their products and put in the price they wanted to get. And then the market would add that markup percentage onto that to what the customer would pay. So yeah, that was for the
That makes
market's
sense.
operating costs to cover, manager time and boxes and bags and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, I knew there was something, like there was a reason, but some of the people were very like they were significantly higher. And I just couldn't. And it was crazy.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, could have been 15 or 16% higher. That was the most any market was marking up. And
but
some of the vendors would input a wholesale price so that, the vendor was getting less, but the customer was seeing a price that was pretty close to the same. But yeah, it definitely was higher.
okay. And I think that's it. Yeah. So there's not a whole lot
Mhm.
that we got out of it that we can do moving forward. Is there anything you want to see again before I
Yeah.
stop sharing?
No, I think I got it. It's good information though, and I think we'll share it with Local Line to let them know that 16% of our non-purchasers said they didn't purchase because the platform was hard,
Mm-hmm.
and they're kind of tired of hearing that from us, but we just keep telling them.
Who are
Yeah.
the Local Line people?
It's a company. They're based in Canada, so that's why it's localline.ca. So they're a software company, and this is one of their products, and they also have some other things that they do that I think they do better. Like they put together the matchmaking platform it's called the Midwest Grazing Exchange, and we describe it as Tinder for cows.
Oh,
So it matches livestock if livestock farmers want to find grazing grounds, they can put in, I have 30 head of sheep and I want grazing from April to October. And then people with land that's in pasture or forage can put up what they've got available for grazing. So it's kind of this matchmaking website that covers the whole Midwest, and Local Line built it and it's good. I mean, it's a great platform, but it's a different sort of functionality than the farmers market hubs. And I'm starting to come to the conclusion that the hubs just aren't their thing. Like there are things they do really well, and the hub platform just isn't one of them. So Grand Rapids is jumping ship to Open Food Network.
That was the one that Rochester used, right?
No, they're using Local Food Marketplace, which all of these are so similar in the way that they sound that it's easy to get them mixed up. But Local Food Marketplace is a for-profit company started by a woman who used to run a food hub. And so she really knows the system, and she designed this software, and Rochester is using it. They really like it. I guess it's kind of the Cadillac of hub software, but it's pretty expensive, relatively speaking. So Grand Rapids didn't go with it. Open Food Network is open source, and it originated in Australia, but now it has chapters, or it's kind of a cooperative model. So it has groups all over. They have a word for them. What do they call them? It's not an intuitive word, which is why I can't remember it. Instances, that's what they call them. Every country has its own instance. And so there's a United States instance of Open Food Network, and that's what the Grand Rapids market is joining.
Who knew there'd be so many, like, yeah, food hub platforms?
Mhm.
Yeah, there are so many. I mean, there are others that we haven't even dealt with at all, like Barn to Door, Local Dirt, Local Harvest. Yeah.
I just looked, and the customer that had the cancellation problem was from Richfield.
Okay.
Just for an update on that, but I could have very well been the same situation.
Yeah, probably. Where somebody just ran out of product and forgot to take it down.
Or, I remember someone from the customer survey saying that when they would fill up their cart, the cart would clear or whatever for some reason.
Oh yeah, that happened a couple times early on too. That I think it was when they tried to make a payment, and if they tried to make a payment immediately after they ordered, it didn't work. You had to log out and then log back in to make a payment, which is completely ridiculous. And that's something we yelled at Local Line about. We're like, guys, you can't do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, could have been that.
Yeah, well, that's, yeah.
Okay. Well, Abby, we should talk about the manual, and James, if you want to listen in, that's fine.
Is this manual for like the market managers?
Right, yeah. Yep, it's the collection of all the stuff that we developed over the 3 years of the project to get managers able to do this.
Yep.
And what Abby is trying to do is organize the material, of which there was a lot scattered in different places. So yeah, Abby, I just, there were oohs and ahs on the project team when I showed them your documents cross-check. They're like, oh my gosh, we have so much stuff. Wow, she did so much work. So it was really appreciated. So this is what Jan Joanitas then did, took Abby's document that was in a document format like Word and pulled it into a spreadsheet so that we could put some comments on it. But yeah, there are all of these things that
Yeah, there were quite a
may or
few.
may not need to. Go ahead.
So you said that Monday, or when was the deadline that you guys had decided for making comments on keeping or getting rid of, or are Sarah's comments the collective?
No, Sarah's are just Sarah's, so the rest of us are intending to go through this by Monday.
Okay, that's right. Okay, I just wanted to double check it was Monday so I can.
Yep. So then on the manual itself, where are you at with that?
Since I was activated this weekend, I haven't really had a chance to even.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
But I have it. I know I say this every week, but it is on my list to do today, actually, for sure, this time.
Yeah, I have lists like that.
But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I don't think we need to do much more than, we talked about it last week.
Mhm.
You just need to go through and kind of untangle the text from all of the reference pieces.
Yeah.
So
This is huge.
Yeah.
yeah,
Right. I know it's like
it's
70-some pages.
enormous. And that's why we're asking Abby to kind of take these chapters and just
Mhm.
pull out sort of overview, introductory text, and then refer to all of the other pieces that a manager would need to have available, but isn't necessarily going to wade through when they're just trying to figure out, what does this thing even look like?
Yeah. Want it to be a little more approachable than this novella.
Yeah. Yep. So how many pages are we at here?
I think I want to say
Something like 56 or so.
yeah.
Yeah. Yep, which is still way smaller than the manual that the Farmers Market Association has for just general farmers market operations. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but it's a 3-ring binder and it's like that thick. It's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Kathy sent me that in a PDF and it was like, 187 pages or something.
Yeah. Okay, well, good. Thanks both of you for being on. And I guess we kind of haven't talked about having another monthly manager call. The managers still want to do them, but we haven't set it up for this month. So,
Okay.
so if you if you can split the most recent survey info by markets again, we'll get that sent out to the markets. But yeah, other than that, we don't have a manager call coming up right away.